Alright, I'm back, and we are doing some more speed art. Today we're going to be doing some speed art for an artist named Shawn Finesse. I created the artwork for his project, The Wonderful World of Chops, and it's actually a pretty cool concept. The idea behind this design is that it's actually going to be a shot of the whole solar system, except instead of planets, it's actually going to be vinyls, which I think is a pretty cool concept. In the last speed art video, I was actually talking while I was doing the artwork in Photoshop.
My eyes are watering. Oh god, my voice cracked. This is a disaster already.
This week is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be talking over a pre-recorded footage of me working on his cover art in Photoshop. I'm going to be going over all the things I did and kind of explaining my thought process while I was working on it, and maybe you guys can take something away from that. Speed art. Begin. Alright, so right off the bat we start off super strong by forgetting to record the entire process. But basically how I started is I found an image of the solar system where I kind of liked the layout and the composition of all the planets. That just happened to be an iStock photo. Those photos are okay to use as long as they're not part of like the final product. Then I found these vinyls and I cut them out and then kind of place them where the planets would go. Then here you can see I found a picture of every single planet including the sun, and then I clipped the sun onto the vinyl and changed the blending mode to try and get the look that I'm trying to find, I guess. Pretty much did that for every single planet. I also made sure that there's a little hole in the background. Honestly, that's a bit of an overkill. I doubt anyone's gonna care if they see like a little dot of like the stars behind it. Even if they did, honestly, that might kind of look weird anyway. See that flashing you see when I'm overlaying the images onto the vinyl? That's actually just me testing out different blending modes. Honestly, like I don't have every single blending mode memorized, and I don't know which combinations of images are going to do exactly what. So I would encourage everyone when you're making something like this to try out like every blending mode to see like which blending mode for you like makes what you're looking for. And often like I'll be testing out different blending modes and I'll kind of find something new that I was looking for, like a style that I wasn't expecting, but now I kind of like. I'm going to drink some water into the microphone. If you don't like that, turn down the volume on the video for the next 4 seconds. Alright, I'm done with water. Also, I added a lens flare, and I actually put the lens flare as the top layer in my like layer stack, so that it kind of sits on top of like the Earth and a little bit of the other planets as well, but mostly the sun. And then here, I'm actually using an image of clouds, and I'm putting them in the background. I think it's super important to add texture to the photo. It took me a while in this piece to actually get like good looking texture that kind of fits. Like it doesn't really make sense for it to be smoky, but I wanted it to have kind of like this cosmic look in the background, sort of. Here you can see I just paused and stared at my screen and contemplated life for no reason. Made things purple, thought, oh, this doesn't look good, then I stopped. But see, I see a lot of speed art and a lot of people kind of like edit out their mistakes or edit out the things that didn't really make it into the final piece, but I actually like keeping that stuff in because it kind of shows like it's okay to experiment and not know exactly where you're going with things. Or maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm the only one who does that. So here I found this picture of this fog that's kind of like flowy and cool, and basically I'm trying to make it look like the light from the sun is kind of lighting up the area around it, which I kind of have trouble with. I definitely play a lot with that later. Also, a small detail I added on every vinyl is that I kind of added with the brush tool some shadows on the opposite side of the sun on each vinyl. So if you look at that earth vinyl right now, the one that's closest, like the side of the vinyl that's closest to the bottom left corner, is a little bit darker. See, I kind of changed it right there. Now I'm just flashing colors all over the place. So you can see that smoke really add like kind of like a gritty, grimy texture to the whole thing. And now I'm moving around these clouds to kind of like mix that blue and purplish color together. And so in the specs that Shawn Finesse asked for, he also wanted UFOs in the cover art. UFOs, spaceships, and astronauts. So this is me adding those UFOs. Sometimes I find it a little bit difficult to like fit certain requests into like a full composition like this, but I think in the end it worked out. It is hard to like kind of put every single little detail into one square. To create that blurring motion, I actually duplicated the UFO, and then I would add a motion blur on top of that after I change it to a smart object. Don't know what I'm doing here. It looks like I'm just turning layers on and off over and over again. I'm not doing that. I just don't even remember. Then I add a rocket ship, and then I stare at my screen. I have imposter syndrome, thinking, can I even do this? I decide I can, and then I put an astronaut in. Usually when I find an image I'm not sure will work with the entire piece, I just cut it out super rough, which is what I did there. And then I kind of position it in the composition how I think it would look best. And then if it looks good, then I'll spend the time to like use the pen tool and cut out the subject completely. I think I might drink some water again. Man, I'm taking my time with this pen tool. You know what it is? Honestly, sometimes I do other things while I'm designing something. So maybe like I'm watching or I'm listening to like a podcast, or like I'm listening to a podcast and they start talking about something interesting, so I'll switch to that. Or like if someone texts me, I'll text them back. Or sometimes I'm just looking for other images that I want to use. Here you can see I was matching the levels actually so I was matching the levels on the astronaut with the rest of the piece to make it fit in a little bit more. This was, I think, super creative in my opinion, but I thought it'd be super dope if I kind of created like a radial blur with the stars in the background, so it kind of looked like the actual like solar system, like space, was also a vinyl. Like everything in this is a vinyl. Oh, it would have been sick if maybe, no, that wouldn't have turned out. If the UFOs were vinyl though. And then once again, you can see me using that spacey, cloudy texture to add some like texture and stuff. This was so annoying. I remember trying to add the rings to this planet here, Saturn. God, it was so annoying because the picture I was using didn't have a ring that went all the way around, so I had to go in and like really like paint in these like tiny little details. Looks like I'm almost done here. And we're done. All right, that's the video. Huge shout out to Shawn Finesse for allowing me to create the artwork for his project. I'm gonna leave a link to his video, or his, sorry, what am I saying? His YouTube channel in the description. Subscribe if you like these videos. If you don't like these videos, then I guess don't subscribe.